You think you know Gremlins? Well, here's 10 things you may not have known about the rules for taking care of a Mogwai.
And probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
Gremlins was conceived by writer Chris Columbus as a spec script to show off his writing abilities. Steven Spielberg got a hold of it and decided to serve as the film's executive producer. The original script was much darker. Billy's mom is murdered by gremlins, her head is rolled down the stairs as Billy comes home, the gremlins eat Barney, Billy's dog, attack a McDonald's, and eat people. Also, there was no gremlin named Stripe. Instead, Gizmo turned into Stripe. Spielberg changed this thinking it was important for Gizmo to be present for the entire film. Kate, played by Phoebe Cates, tells Billy about how her father, dressed as Santa Claus, broke his neck while climbing down the chimney to surprise them.
Firemen came and broke through the chimney top, and me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird, and instead they pulled out my father.
Studio executives wanted this scene removed because they weren't sure if it was supposed to be funny or horrific. Director Joe Dante refused to take it out because it was a reflection of the film, funny and horrific. Many of the gremlins seen on screen are puppets. During pre-production, the effects team experimented with using monkeys with prosthetics to portray the gremlins. It didn't work out too well because the monkeys would freak out when they would put the gremlin masks on them, so the effects team wound up using puppets. Howie Mandel provided the voice of Gizmo. Steven Spielberg makes a cameo in the film. There's also a time machine from the movie The Time Machine in the background of the scene, which disappears when it cuts back to Billy's dad, alluding to it traveling through time.
Has it got a name, Dad?
Yeah, Mogwai.
What?
Mogwai. I don't know, some Chinese word.
In Cantonese, Mogwai means devil, demon, or gremlin. Billy's home of Kingston Falls is also Hill Valley from Back to the Future. Both were shot on the Universal backlot. And here's a bonus one. In 1984, Steven Spielberg released Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Gremlins. Both films received a PG rating because at the time, there was no PG-13 rating. Spielberg received many complaints from critics about the violence and gore in both of these films. He suggested a new rating between PG and R, and thus PG-13 was introduced later that year.
I warned you,
That's it for this episode of You Think You Know Movies. Make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.